What if JFK had survived Dallas? What if one bullet missed? What if President John F. Kennedy had ducked a second earlier? Or if Lee Harvey Oswald had hesitated? One moment, one decision, 1 second. That's all it would have taken to change the course of American and world history. In this alternate timeline, JFK doesn't die in Dallas on November 22, 1963. And what unfolds next? Could Vietnam have ended differently? Would civil rights have accelerated or stalled? And how close would we have come to peace with the Soviet Union? Buckle up, because this isn't just a fantasy. It's a mirror held up to history. Let's dive deep into what if JFK had survived Dallas. The motorcade rolls through Dealey Plaza. Crowds cheer, Jackie smiles, and JFK waves. But in this version of reality, Secret Service agent Clint Hill reaches the president a split second faster. The third shot, Oswald's kill shot, never connects. JFK is wounded, but survives. Chaos erupts. Sirens scream. The nation gasps, but the president pulls through. That very survival instantly changes America's trajectory. In this timeline, America doesn't lose its youthful, idealistic president. Instead, JFK becomes a symbol of resilience. The public rallies. Approval ratings surge. The Kennedy administration gains momentum and uses it. One of the first areas impacted, Vietnam. Behind the scenes, JFK had already begun expressing doubts about deepening U.S. involvement in Southeast Asia. In late 1963, he had authorized the withdrawal of 1,000 troops by the end of the year. Historians debate whether he would have followed through, but in this alternate history, he does. With newfound political capital from surviving the assassination attempt, JFK accelerates troop withdrawal. No massive escalation, no quagmire. The Vietnam War, as we know it, might never have happened. Now imagine the effect on civil rights. By surviving, JFK has a chance to act, not just speak. In our timeline, Lyndon B. Johnson carried the torch, pushing the Civil Rights Act of 1964 through Congress. But JFK, seeing the nation's eyes on him post-survival, throws his full weight behind it. He uses television, his charm, his directness. The act passes, but maybe even stronger than in our reality. And here's where things shift. Dr. King finds a firmer ally in the White House. Protests are met not with silence, but with executive support. Segregation cracks faster. Voter suppression laws face stronger federal resistance. A new generation of Black Americans sees not just hope, but progress, faster than ever before. Let's not forget the stars. JFK's vision to land a man on the moon before the decade's end remains, but now he's there to witness it. Imagine the photo. President Kennedy in mission control. July 1969, eyes wet, voice cracking as Armstrong takes that giant leap. It's not just a victory over the Soviets. It's a unifying moment for all mankind, shepherded by the very man who dreamed it. Then there's the Cold War. After the Cuban Missile Crisis, JFK had developed a cautious respect for Khrushchev. In this alternate path, that relationship deepens. The back-channel diplomacy they had started doesn't die in Dallas. Tensions still run high, but maybe, just maybe, JFK works toward détente 5 years earlier than Nixon ever would. The arms race cools. Treaties are signed sooner. Billions are redirected toward education, infrastructure, science. But here's the twist. The Soviet hardliners hate this. Khrushchev is eventually ousted. A more aggressive Soviet regime may rise in response. So in saving JFK, do we risk reigniting the Cold War flame a decade later? Here's a chilling thought. If JFK lives and serves 2 full terms, Lyndon B. Johnson never becomes president. That means no great society as we knew it. No Medicare or Medicaid from LBJ's hand. The war on poverty? Delayed, maybe diluted. And if Bobby Kennedy doesn't run in '68, because JFK is still the towering figure in Democratic politics, does he ever get assassinated? Or does he become a senator, quietly building power until the mid-70s? And what about Nixon? Without Vietnam to exploit, without the cultural backlash of the 60s, does Nixon ever become president? Does Watergate happen? Or does a more idealistic America hold to its Camelot a little longer? JFK's assassination didn't just end a presidency, it shattered the nation's innocence. It was the first major trauma of a turbulent decade. Without it, do Americans maintain greater faith in government? Do conspiracy theories still metastasize? Maybe, maybe not. But one thing is certain. The scars of Vietnam, Watergate, and civil unrest shaped a generation's cynicism. If JFK lives, perhaps that scar tissue never forms quite the same way. The US of the 70s and 80s might look entirely different, more trusting, more unified, more visionary. Or maybe all that idealism eventually collapses under the weight of its own myth. So, what if JFK had survived Dallas? Maybe we avoid Vietnam. Maybe civil rights comes faster. Maybe the Cold War thaws early. Maybe America grows up slower, with less pain. Or maybe, just maybe, we trade one set of challenges for another. Unforeseen, unpredictable. That's the nature of history. It turns on fragile hinges. A moment in time, a bullet's path, a choice made or not made. And that's why alternate history matters. It doesn't change the past, but it sharpens our understanding of the present and makes us ask, what decisions today will shape the world of tomorrow? If this what if got your gears turning, hit like and subscribe. We're diving deeper into the crossroads of history every week. What if the South had abolished slavery first? What if the Soviets had nuked Los Angeles? Drop your own what if in the comments. And I just might feature it in the next episode of Alternate Timeline. Until then, remember, history isn't just what happened, it's what could have happened.